How to start learning photography fast if you're a total beginner. One question that I often get is, Andrew, I'm a total beginner and I want to learn photography. How do I start? Now, this is a question that I can relate very well, and I want to tell you a bit of my story here. Nowadays, people see me as an accomplished photographer who works with big corporations like National Geographic, Sony, or international government organizations. Some of them see me as a photography mentor who shares his knowledge with hundreds of people locally and internationally. But I want to tell you here that it didn't start that way. In fact, it started far from what you'd imagine. You see, I didn't know anything about photography and I never planned to be a professional photographer. My professional background is in engineering and finance, and both of them had nothing to do with photography. I had never been interested in art or photography previously, and you can even say that I had no talent in both. I wanted to learn photography because I wanted to take better product photos for my e-commerce site. So, how did I learn photography? Since I really had no idea when I started, it was a combination of buying expensive gears, spending countless of hours watching videos and asking newbie questions on forums that often pissed off the so-called pro there. And after all that, I still often find myself fiddling around with my camera trying to get stuff to work. It was a very messy process and it's a process that I wouldn't do again or recommend you to take. Later on, I found a way to learn photography much more effectively, and this is what I want to share with you in this video. These are the steps that I would definitely do if I were to start learning photography all over again. So here are the 3 steps on how you can learn photography fast if you are a total beginner. So step number 1 is to find what you want to shoot specifically. I started learning photography because I wanted to take better product photos for my e-commerce site. I wanted to produce a beautiful product photos with nice white background that I can use to showcase my products online. That was my initial goal to learn photography. Having set a goal on why you want to learn photography is important to give you the motivation and the momentum to start learning photography. Most people often say, oh, I just want to take better photos, but they are clueless on what specific kind of photos they want to take. It's much better to say, I want to take beautiful portrait photo of my wife or kids with soft blurred background rather than I just want to take better photos. So be specific and have clarity on what kind of photos you want to be able to produce. This will help you tremendously to focus on the essentials and get started learning photography fast. Step number 2 is get a mirrorless camera with an interchangeable lens. If you want to get serious about learning photography, you want to get the right tools. You can't learn how to drive without getting a car first, and the same goes with photography. A mirrorless camera will let you get familiar with the photography world because it allows you to access and control the important variables of photography, namely the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. You'll be able to learn about composition because you'll be able to change lenses. And finally, you'll get a much better file quality that you can use to learn photo editing. Now, what about smartphone camera? Most people think they can use their smartphone camera to learn photography, but in my view, you'll have just a limited exposure to photography if you are only using a smartphone camera. This is because a smartphone camera doesn't allow you to access the important variables easily, is often not responsive enough, especially when you have too many apps open, and it usually produces poor quality results in dim light. What mirrorless camera to get? The short answer is whatever fits your budget. I recommend you buy whatever camera you like along with 2 lenses. One zoom lens for general use and one prime lens with fast aperture for taking photos with nice blurred background. If you want my personal recommendation, go with Sony a6000 mirrorless camera, the 16 to 50mm kit lens and the 35mm f1.8 lens. The combination is very budget friendly that will give you the best value for money and lets you start learning photography. I've posted the product links and you can see them on the video description below. Step number 3 is to get a good photography mentor. I confess that at first I watched countless of free video tutorials on YouTube but was yet still confused by photography. Most of my students said they experienced the same thing. They often buy a camera, watch 2 hours of YouTube videos but still don't know what to do when it comes to photography. Watching free YouTube videos can be helpful for some of you, but can the videos tell you specifically on how you can get started for your specific situation? How about the mistakes that you are making? Or how can you improve upon it? This is where having a good mentor comes in handy. A mentor is someone who you respect, who's been there and done that. It's different from a teacher in a sense that he or she has accomplished what you want in real life. For instance, if you want to learn about portrait photography, a potential mentor for you is an award-winning portrait photographer who works with international clients, not a college professor who teaches photography but lacks real-world credentials. Now, finding a good mentor is quite a time-consuming process and you'll have to spend a good amount of money to work with one. I've been in good and bad mentorship programs before, and I am also a photography mentor myself. So let me give you some tips on how to find a good photography mentor and how to successfully work with them. First, the mentor needs to be interested in your progress. He or she needs to be more interested in taking you to the next level than taking money from you. A good sign to spot this is to look at his response when you first approach him or her. If you approach a potential mentor and ask, "Are you willing to be a mentor or do you have mentorship programs?" and his first answer is, "Yes, I operate for X dollar per hour," stay away. Instead, find someone who responds with, "Can you tell me where you are with your photography? What do you need help with? Or what are you trying to get from the mentorship program?" Next, the mentor needs to be willing to push you outside your comfort zone. He or she should not be afraid to let you experiment with different things, make mistakes, and give you feedbacks on how you're doing and what can you do to improve. You can spot this by looking at his relationship with his students or even ask his students directly on how things are with their mentorship. What does a good mentor expect from you and how can you work with one successfully? First, he expects you to not only listen to what he has to say, but also take the time to apply it in the real world. A good mentor loves his students to take action. Why? Because only by taking action can your mentor give you feedback. He will not know what feedbacks to give you if you are not putting the work out there, and oftentimes you'll make mistakes. And this is for him to see. Next, he expects you to be proactive. Don't wait for your mentor to babysit you all the time. Take the initiative. Experiment with stuff that you have never done before and show it to your mentor. Tell him what you did, why you did it, and what he thinks of it. Doing this will make your growth in learning photography really fast. Lastly, and this is very important, he expects you to respect his time. The mentor that you'll be working with will usually be busy and have limited time. So it is imperative that you respect his time. Show up on time, do the assigned work, and submit for review on time. Be concise and clear with your questions and comments. Those are the simple things that you can do that will let him know that you are serious and you respect his time. So those are the 3 things that will jumpstart your photography learning and the things that I would absolutely do if I were to start learning photography all over again. So what's the first step that you can do now? Find one specific kind of photo that you want to be able to take. It could be a portrait of a person with soft blurry background. It could be a product photo with a white background. It could even be a waterfall with soft misty look. You can browse around in Google, Facebook, or Instagram to get some ideas. Be specific here and set a goal. I hope this video helps you in your photography learning journey. If you have any questions for me, please type in the comment box below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get more videos like this in the future. And I hope you the best of luck in your photography journey, and I will see you in the next video.